In this video, we're not going to be talking about mining profitability at all. Instead, I'm going to look at the most relevant ASIC miners you can buy and have delivered to you right now, and what would happen if you could mine on them for 2 years straight and then sell all of those mined coins at the previous all-time high price for that coin. In other words, what if you buy an ASIC right now, stack all the coins it mines until the next crypto bull market, which people expect to start next year and peak late 2025, and are then able to sell all of those mined coins at the highest price that coin achieved during the last bull market in 2021. If you did that, what ASIC would end up making you the most money in the end? And would it be more profitable compared to just buying the coins? That's what's coming up in this video, after a quick word from our sponsor. Coin Mining Central is an online store for ASIC miners, and there's no doubt that right now, ASIC mining is by far looking like the most profitable type of mining, and the miners that I'm personally most interested in right now would probably be the Bitmain L7 and E9 Pro, as well as the Gsminer X16Q. And what's cool about Coin Mining Central is that they always offer free worldwide express shipping, and I've always felt fully comfortable recommending them to you guys, and here's why. As opposed to most other ASIC vendors that are based overseas, Coin Mining Central is based and run out of England, Europe, where they have to adhere to the very strict regulations for customer support and personal detail protection that we have over here. And of course, all brand new miners come with a full manufacturer warranty as well. And because of this, Coin Mining Central has been a highly trusted ASIC miner store for miners like you and me for over 5 years at this point. They also care about this community, being very active and reachable on social media, and they've also provided loads of exclusive discount codes for you guys that you can use together with the link in the video description to save big on any miner that you want to get. And speaking of prices, I don't know if you've noticed, but ASIC prices have been dropping dramatically these past few months, so right now could be a very good time to stock up on some cheap hardware before the crypto market recovers, especially considering you get the already competitive pricing that Coin Mining Central has, plus the free worldwide shipping, plus the exclusive discount codes that I mentioned. So go check that out today. I'll have all of those discount codes and the exclusive link for you down in the video description. Alright, so to start, as always, nothing in this video is financial advice. But the reason I wanted to do this video is that historically, the crypto market, like clockwork, has always been on a 4-year cycle. I won't go into detail about it in this video, but all you need to know is that historically, every 4 years when Bitcoin has its scheduled block reward halving, that then triggers the start of a new crypto bull market where prices just start going up and up and up and up. And that bull market then usually peaks a little over a year after that block reward halving happened. And well, Bitcoin's next halving is a little less than 8 months away, and based on that, plus historical data for how long it usually takes from the halving to the next crypto price peak, the next all-time high would be just about like 800 days from today, which would mean 800 days of mining and stacking as much coin as possible before that next price peak. And historically, on average, every new bull market always peaks at higher prices than the previous bull market 4 years earlier. Of course, that is not true for every single coin, but a significant portion of coins tend to at least reach their previous all-time high price in every new bull market. For example, here is Litecoin in 2013, then in 2017, and then in 2021. And of course, you have Bitcoin in 2013, 2017 and 2021. But also newer coins like Ethereum Classic has followed this pattern as well, as you can see here in 2017 and then in 2021. So what if we just work under the assumption that coins will at least reach their previous all-time high price again? What ASIC would actually end up making you the most money? Well, I've of course made a spreadsheet to break all of that down simply for you. So let's have a look. Alright, so here we are on the computer, and as you can see, the ASICs I have included here are basically the top ASICs that you would currently consider for each different coin algo. However, I have excluded ASICs for obscure algos, ASICs that are currently only on pre-order and it's unclear when you'll actually get it delivered. And I've also chosen to exclude 𝗧𝗏 ASICs due to the fact that 𝗧𝗏 didn't even exist in the last crypto bull market. So we don't really have a point of reference for what price that coin could reach realistically during a crypto bull market. Also a note on what all-time high coin prices I have used. You can see the note here, but basically it has to be a price from the previous 2021 bull market that was sustained for at least 24 hours straight, and not a price that was part of like an initial coin sell-off like we saw for 𝗧W, where the price was super pumped up just as the coin went on sale for the very first time and then just crashed after that. Now, I've taken into account that for some of these miners there are more than one coin that can be mined on them, as you can see with the very first one, the E9 Pro here, where I'm doing the calculations for ETC, 𝗧W and 𝗧𝗓. And for other miners that can actually dual mine or merge mine multiple coins at once, like the X16Q that can do, for example, Ethereum Classic and 𝗧-𝗦 at the same time, or the L7 that does Litecoin and Dogecoin at the same time, I've of course included the sum of both coins in the calculations. And if after watching this video you do feel like getting one of these miners is the right choice for you, I really recommend getting them from Coin Mining Central, because that is a reseller that I fully trust. And what I'll do is I'll leave links as well as exclusive discount code that they gave me just for you guys for all of these miners, and I'll put them down in the video description. Now, those links will be affiliate links, for transparency, which means that the channel does get a small commission at no extra cost to you. And as a matter of fact, with those exclusive discount codes, it's actually gonna be even cheaper for you, so kind of a win-win there. And keep in mind, you also get the free worldwide express shipping, full manufacturer warranty, and all that other good stuff at Coin Mining Central. So yeah, check those codes and links out in the video description, and let's move on to our actual results. Alright, so the ASIC we'll be looking at are the E9 Pro for 𝗧hash coins, the Jasminer X16Q for 𝗧hash coins plus silica, the iPollo G1 Grin miner, the L7 for LTC and Doge, the D9 for Dash, the K7 for Nervos, the Z15 Pro for like 5 different Equihash coins, the KA3 for Kadena, the HS3 for Handshake, S19 XP for Bitcoin and 2 other Bitcoin variants, and finally the Goldshell SC6-SE for SIA coin and SC Prime. And this whole calculation will be done at a power price of 15 cents per kilowatt hour and mining for 800 days. Here you can see the live price for each of these miners at Coin Mining Central before applying the discount codes from the video description. So really they're even cheaper than what is listed here in the spreadsheet. Then the regular stuff like hash rate, power consumption, and finally we get into the daily coin yield for each of these coins here. Now, this is based on the coin yield as of today. And of course, this can and will change in the next 800 days, right? But just as the yield might go down, it could just as likely go up, or the coin price could go way higher than the previous all-time high, or lower, or to zero. The point is, there are a million different factors to doing predictions like this, so I'm just going to go and use today's numbers, because that really is the only concrete thing we have to base a calculation like this on. We then have the previous all-time high price for each of these coins. I already explained how I defined those. We then have the total 800-day power cost for running each of these miners at 15 cents per kilowatt hour. And then finally, what you have all been waiting for, the total revenue and profit after mining for 800 days straight and then selling the coins at the all-time high prices. And as we can see here, the variation is wild, with some of these scenarios coming in at below 10 grand in total profit, while others come in at multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, with 3 of them bringing home over $250,000. Now, of course, before you just take this at face value, you have to keep in mind how likely you think it actually is that these coins would reach their all-time high price again, because obviously that's not a guarantee. But for miners like the G1, Z15 Pro and KA3, even if those coins only hit 1/3 of their previous all-time high, that is still a crazy return on investment. And speaking of return on investment, I have of course calculated that here too. Now, what this is basically taking the full price of the miner plus the full amount you'd spend on power at 15 cents per kilowatt hour and see how many times you multiplied your money in the end. So for a miner like the E9 Pro, we see a healthy 2 to 4 times return on investment, which isn't too shabby by any means. But then you of course have the Z15 Pro mining private chain that, if this scenario were to play out, you'd 33x your money, which is just absolutely insane. And what I feel this spreadsheet so beautifully displays is just kind of the whole actual concept of risk versus reward. Because as you can see, kind of the more stable and established a coin is, like Bitcoin or Ethereum Classic, the lower the potential profit is. But I think a lot of you would agree that those are, safer miners to get, as those coins are so well established. On the other side of that spectrum, you have smaller, much more volatile coins like Pirate Chain or SC Prime, where if you are willing to take the gamble on those coins, you do have the potential to more than 10x your money. And of course there are some in-between ones like the L7, which honestly has been such a solid miner for over a year at this point, that does mine pretty well established coins and could yield a very nice return on investment too. I feel like another solid one could be the Z15 Pro, just because of how adaptable it is, since it can mine so many different coins, some of which are pretty well established like Zcash, and some which could yield crazy returns like Pirate Chain. Or if you want to take that chance of becoming a millionaire in just over 2 years, you could get one of each of the G1, Z15 Pro and KA3. Since, between the three of them, total profit after 800 days would add up to over $1 million. And if you do want to take that chance and buy those three, please don't forget to use the link and discount codes below. Now, of course, there is still an elephant in the room, which is that these massive profits are mostly just a result of massive coin price increases. So with that in mind, wouldn't it make more sense to just buy the coins instead? Well, obviously, I did that math for you as well. So let's have a look at that after a quick word from our sponsor. HeroMiners.com is a long-time trusted mining pool with support for over 17 different CPU and GPU mineable coins, including 𝗧𝗧, 𝗧𝗏, Monero, Ironfish, 𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗢, and Alephium, just to mention a few. And since the Ethereum merge, they've done everything they can to help you guys stay profitable, like doing multiple periods of 0% pool fees, regular giveaways and bonus events, greatly reduced parallel asset fees on 𝗧, 10 times faster ergo payouts than other pools, and just in general having really low and competitive pool fees for all of their supported coins. On top of this, they also have servers in 13 different locations around the globe to make sure you have a strong connection no matter where in the world you're mining from. Of course, they also have everything else you'd expect from such a high quality pool, like nice stats and charts, ready-made bat files to help you connect your mining software to the pool, the option to choose between pool mining and solo mining, support for mining rig rentals and NiceHash, the list goes on and on. So check them out at HeroMiners.com or by clicking the link down in the video description. Now let's look at if it actually makes sense to buy these miners in a scenario like this, because a very common comment I get is that if I believe the coin prices are gonna go up so much, then just buying the coin instead of mining it would make more sense. But is that actually true? Well, no. Buying the miner is almost always a much better decision, as you can see here. There are very few instances where buying the coin actually made more money than mining it. So I'm gonna talk about how I did these calculations, and yes, I do take into account investing the power cost into the coin as well. But first I just want to give you a few more insights into why I always prefer mining instead of buying crypto. The first one is that if you're choosing between, for example, buying a $3,000 ASIC miner versus investing $3,000 into the coin that ASIC would mine, well, if you buy the coin and then it goes to zero, you've lost all your money and there's nothing you can do. But with mining, if the coin goes to zero, sure, you lost all of your mining rewards, but you still own the ASIC miner. And a big portion of ASIC miners nowadays can mine more than one coin. So if one coin goes to zero, you can just swap to a different coin. Or you can of course also still sell the ASIC miner secondhand to someone else. And that is going to be my second point on mining versus buying. Following this strategy of buying a miner now and mining into the next potential bull market, you're actually buying these miners at super low prices right now. Because the prices of ASIC miners increase like crazy during bull markets, even second-hand prices, meaning that at the end of all this, you might also be able to sell your ASIC miner for significantly more than you bought it for. I'm talking 2 to 10 times the price in some cases. Just looking historically at what's happened in the past bull markets. So with mining instead of buying the coin, not only do you often have the flexibility to mine different coins, you also actually own a physical piece of hardware that you could sell for even more money than you bought it for. So how did I actually calculate this mining versus buying the coin comparison? Well, obviously, the first thing is to just take the cost of the miner, buy the coin at today's coin price for that amount, and then see how much that would be worth if the coin were to reach its all-time high price again. But that isn't exactly fair, because with mining you end up paying more than just the price of the miner. You also pay for the power to run it for the next 800 days. But also that isn't necessarily money you have access to right now, since that's just a small recurring amount every month for the next 2 years. So it would also not really be fair to take that whole amount that would be spread over 2 years in mining and just use that all at once to buy, the coin at today's coin price. So what I settle on is basically a perfect middle point, because in this example, really what we're hypothesizing is that the coin price during these next 800 days is going to go from the price it is right now back to its all-time high price 800 days later. So just like we would be paying a little bit for power every day to run the miner, what if we just take that little bit of money we would be spending on power and just invest that into the coin every day, from now all up until 800 days from now? And so that is exactly what I did. And that is how I got this result of how much you would be making just by investing in the coin and how that stacks up against mining the coin. And also remember, as long as you take good care of your miners, you can also add to this the price you would be able to sell the miner for in the middle of the next potential bull market. And if you do add, let's say, $7,000 to all of these numbers, the only 2 instances in this scenario where buying the coin would be better than mining it is if you were to mine Bitcoin on the S19 XP, or if you were mining Handshake on the HS3. And also, before you look at these and think to yourself, $800 after 2 years with the E9 Pro, how is that even worth it? Keep in mind that $800 is just how much extra you'd be making compared to buying the coin. Your actual profit is well over 30 grand at that point. Plus, whatever amount you would be able to sell the ASIC for. And that is also with less risk than buying the coin because of the reasons I went through earlier. So, just another quick reminder that links and discount codes for all of these ASIC miners are down in the video description. And if you want to learn more about how you can set up and run ASIC miners at home with no problems, I recommend checking out this video here. Other than that, please subscribe for more mining videos, and you can support the channel by clicking the join button below to get access to bonus content, or you can buy one of my shirts in my merch store. Link to that will be down in the video description as well. But that's it. Thanks for watching.